All right, in this video, I'm with my buddy Bonnie. This is Bonnie. Isn't she a good-looking girl? In this video, we're going to go over how you can use counter conditioning and desensitization to stop your dog from barking at the door, like this. There we go. So that is a classically conditioned response. I'll wait a sec so she settles down. I like to have it before and after. So in a minute, I should be able to knock the same way and not have this response. That's the goal of this video. Now, we need to always go at the dog's pace, and we're going to use a marker word. So the Guardian here already has a marker word. If you don't have a marker word, go to doggonproblems.com/markers, I think just marker, and there's a video that explains it. So basically, your marker is your way of telling the dog that they did the thing you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over, now the knocking that I did was multiple knocks at a pretty high intensity. For desensitization is the principle of like living next door to a train station. After a while, you don't even hear the trains because it just happens so often. So right there, she jumped up on me. She's trying to get attention. I just ignored her. And so she eventually got off and went elsewhere. She was barking at the phantom that knocked at the door, even though she saw me do it. She's just so used to doing this. There's a knock, and then some invader is about to come. Or somebody's going to shove mail through this box. Or somebody's going to come in and there's excitement. So there's a lot of benefit. Bonnie, come here. So what I'm going to do for counter conditioning, in desensitization is we're doing a low enough level of intensity that the dog does not react. I do that by lower the intensity level in one of three ways. I lower the volume, I increase the distance, or I slow down the speed. In this case, I'm going to lower the volume by knocking softer. Bonnie. All right, so what I'm going to do is, I don't want to hold it sit. She doesn't have to sit, I just make it sit for the video. So I'm going to go, yes. Actually, I don't even need to use the marker word. I guess I forgot this is a desensitization exercise. You don't have to use a marker for that. I'm going to grab a couple so I can do a little bit faster. There we go. Oh, that's not ideal, but I dropped that one. So about as hard as I can do it with one knock. I've gone all the way to the apex of that. But most of us, when you heard me do that before, I was knocking multiple times. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the intensity level, go. So what I'm doing is I'm making the knocking what's we call a precedent. So the knock means I'm going to get a treat. Now I don't want to break your door, so now I'm going to go to 3 knocks, but I'm going to bring down the level again. Let's see. Okay. Now, a couple things. This is, Bonnie, sit. Yes. Bonnie, find it. Yes. Bonnie, find it. I'm giving her something to do so she's not distracted. Now, this is at the end of about 2 hours and 2.5 hours of a session. She's had somebody in her house for a long time. She hasn't slept for 2.5 hours. She's a little on edge. So when you do this, you look like you're about to do the Daniel, whatever that is. So you don't want to do it after she's had an overly long walk. Now, after a short walk would be a great time to do it. We take off that energy. But if it's too long of a visit, we're going to set her up to fail. Now, when I knocked with 3 knocks and she started barking, I did not reward. So when you do the stimulus, in this case the stimulus is me knocking, if she doesn't bark, she gets a reward. If she barks, there's nothing. There's no punishment, there's no correction, there's also no reward. And then that tells me that I knocked too hard. I need to go to a previous level of success. So let's try to do that again with 3. That's about the same level I think that I knocked a couple minutes ago when we started this video, and it caused her to bark. Now, certainly there's a little bit there. This is something we're going to do in short bursts and more frequently. Now, knocking the door is a pretty common trigger. There are other things that could be like the sound of the mailman walking up, the sound of a trash truck, the sound of a dog barking, the skateboard, whatever it is. Make a list of all of the sounds that your dog is reactive to. That's a demand bark. So that says, she's saying, shut up and give me treats. I'm ignoring that because all attention for dogs is rewarding, and it's because I'm ignoring it, not even give her eye contact, she's stopped. She's not barking as much. So basically, make a list of all the sounds that she's reactive to. Work on one of them at a time until you can get a real world situation. Now, I'm doing this individually with treats. You can also do a principle about this for, we talked about, and I'll get on my knees for this one, come here, for the 4th of July. I use the same principle at the 4th of July. So Bonnie here goes someplace where, because she hates fireworks so much, that it's illegal to shoot fireworks because it's a fire safety zone. And that's a great thing because the mom is taking her time to go somewhere to make her feel safe. But it's not really convenient for you. So what I do for the fireworks is I get a sound recording of fireworks going off. And I play it at a very low volume while my dogs are eating their food. And each day I raise it up a little bit. By the 4th of July, it sounds like I am shooting fireworks off in my house through my whole speaker system. And my dogs do not care because they've been desensitized and something positive has happened when they've heard that. And I went at the dog's pace. Again, if the dog barks or reacts or shows any sign of agitation, fear, or anxiety, you're moving too fast. The goal is not to finish the exercise. The goal is to complete the exercise with the dog exhibiting the results of the behavior that we're looking for, in this case, no barking. So so eventually, like I said, I'm playing the fireworks at full blast. My dogs are like, big whoop. And then that night when the fireworks are going off all over town, my dogs are sleeping and content. So make a list of all the sounds, go at her pace, and gradually, systematically knock those out one at a time. This is going to have such a profound impact on her life because she's got cortisol in her blood. And so that's the stress hormone that causes her to really, it's just an emotionally overwhelmed. It's just like being so scared she can't control herself. So, well, this is my buddy Bonnie. How about a sit? You know, this is Hollywood. You're supposed to be able to face the camera. They call it have a good camera presence. Isn't she a good-looking girl? This is my buddy Bonnie, and this is Bonnie's roadmap to success. These are some tips and tricks for Bonnie. Sorry, that'll be the next video. These are some tips and tricks you can use if you have a dog that likes to bark at sounds.